Are you trying to go backpacking with your friends? Are you trying to go camping with your friends? Are you just trying to do outdoor things? Maybe even like a hike? Just a random thought. Well, you're probably going to want a guide. Now, I don't know why you would need this. It's pretty simple. But you know, that's what I'm here for. So, let's get into this. Okay, chapter 1. So, let's say you're backpacking. If you're not, just skip this video. The stuff is going to be mostly the same for camping and backpacking. However, I think we should get into it. So, you're going to start off, you're probably going to want to pack. For example, my pack here, this is a 40-liter pack. It's just cheap off Amazon. You don't really need anything expensive unless you're going ultralight. So, what you're gonna need, the overview of this pack. You want the pack, it'll house all your stuff. This is what you'll be living out of if you're backpacking, so it's pretty important. If you have a backpack, you should have straps and belts, and they should be tightened pretty tight. The weight should be on your hips, not up here. So, that's important. On your pack, I don't have it on me right now, but you'll want a little light. Probably if you're going to plan on going at night. My setup, I've got a light up here. And that's just how I do it. Now, you can do it any way you want, but I advise you have a light. You'll also want a headlamp. At least one change. So if all goes to heck, you still have one. And I would say that's pretty important to have. You'll want fire starters. So what I have is I have 4, which is definitely overkill, but hey, I'll never run out. They are magnesium and a ferrocerium rod on top of them. I have a knife paired with them, just a small one, and that stuff is just set up so that you can start a fire with that. And I've also got some super dry, I think it's tumbleweed fire starters, just really dry wood. And that's with that. And then I typically carry a log with me that is cut into small sections, probably about 4 inches. I keep that kind of right below the tent on my bag, and then I can drill into that when I need. As far as the stuff inside my bag goes, that's all kind of exterior stuff. I've got a phone dry bag, so it's just a triple ziplocked bag that I put my phone in. I have a battery. I've got the food, so I should go over this real quick. Food is actually going to be on the outside for backpacking. You'll probably want to house it either up here, or you want to house it down there. You just kind of strap it over. It's in a bear canister and a bear bag. It's very important you bring one, and it needs to be 50 to 100 feet away from your camp. So that's really important. But into the bag, because I keep postponing it. Now we're into it. In your bag, you're going to have your sleeping bag, mattress, and then you're going to have a stove, pots, and then on your bag, you'll definitely want a knife. But that's like kind of your basic setup. You'll want a stove, and you want fuel for your stove. That's very important. Some of the things I bring, you don't actually need these, but they're really nice to have. A small, lightweight hatchet. A auger drill is my accessory. I think it's amazing. It makes wood chips. You can drill into the wood. I can make a Swedish torch. So those are awesome. And you'll want paracord as well. You never know when you might need some. Anyways, so that's that. Let's look at the actual gear. All right, into the pack. So, my pack, I will lay it out here. This is a 40 liter, as I said. On my pack, you can see the outside. You've got a very small knife here. I have another knife on the side. This is a larger knife. Not very important, but it's nice to have. This bag has pockets here that I'll keep snacks in. And then I've got my tent on the outside, on the bottom straps, so I can undo that. That is my tent. Inside the pack, in this front pocket, I've got my triple layered cell phone holder. So that is nice to have. Below that, I've got my fire starters. I have 16 of these. 8 of these. They're really nice. They're really easy to start. Now, paracord below that. Got a carabiner on that. Nice to have. That's that pocket. Now, this front pocket I usually keep empty. However, I will laminate whatever trail map we're going on, and this pocket is absolutely awesome for it. It's a little more. There's nothing in there. And I've got a nice secondary pocket. Not very important, but it's there. Now, this is the primary pocket. Within here is all the main stuff. This is the juicy stuff that you're looking for. This is a camping set. There's a pot, a pan, 2 bowls, 2 sporks, a wooden spoon, a cleaning sponge thing, and all that good stuff. You'll want one of these. They're very light, and they're totally worth your time. Now, you'll want a stove. These stoves can be huge or they can be tiny. This is my stove. It's very small, amazing, folds out, and it's got its own igniter on it, so that's awesome. And then you'll also want a fuel source for these. In my case, it's this. Now, the adapter, I have it inside the stove, or the pots and pans. However, if you're going to use a large propane tank, you'll need an adapter, because these typically run the small style. But I run it like this, because I want more propane. So, that's your food cooking. That's important. Don't forget that. This is my accessory. I have a auger. This is to drill into trees, primarily into logs. Works great. It's got a handle, chamfered end, and you can just slam a stick into this, and it works great. As far as what's below this stuff, now we get into more of the hardware of your trip. Oh, bad voice crack, I apologize. This is my mattress. This is an inflatable mattress. It's got its own built-in foot pump, and it's incredibly light. I would recommend a foam mattress. However, this is just what I have. Inflatable or sometimes lighter. It's kind of a hit or miss. Foam is definitely going to be more comfortable. Now, below that, we get into some of the funner stuff. By that, I mean the only comfortable thing in here, the sleeping bag. So, this is my largest item by far. This is actually a summer sleeping bag. Got another one in order. And this one, you can strap it over your shoulder if you want. But it's just a sleeping bag. I have that at the bottom of my pack. Now, the last thing I keep, other than my fire starter pouch, is a hatchet. This is a very thin hatchet. And it is horrible for cutting wood, I'm going to be honest. However, this is perfect for final scenario. Very thin, just one piece of sheet metal. And then the handle is a bunch. This is modified. It came with paracord. I can't stand it. So I upgraded, or downgraded, to some electrical tape as a handle, because it's more comfortable. And having one of these is amazing for starting a fire. Just lets you cut things up real small, and it's just amazing. The last pocket in this kit, the last thing that I gotta show you, well, technically there's one more, but it's not that cool. Charger cord, LED light, range of batteries isn't in there right now because I don't see a point in keeping it in there unless I need it. And then my fire starter. These are 4 magnesium rods. This is all magnesium. There's a ferro rod on top. And then I have another small knife that I have dedicated to this that I can shave off magnesium shavings, put them into this, and they light up very, very easily. If you have a pack, I strongly advise you have a rain cover. So in my pack, that's housed at the bottom, which is kind of awesome. This little zipper. And all a rain cover is, mine came with a nice little bag, so I use it. And it's a nice waterproof bag. But a rain cover is legitimately just a thing that you can put over your bag. And it'll help to keep the rain out. All this stuff, anything that's rainproof, needs to be coated with the rainproof spray pretty much every time you go. And it rains, because otherwise it'll wear down. Pretty soon you'll have a leak, and that's no fun. So that's that. That is my backpacking setup. Now, if you are here for the camping stuff, stay along for just a sec, and I'll get into that. Oh, but I want to go camping. Oh, good news for you. I got this too. But it's pretty much the same, so not too important. So, I'm going to say it again. So let's get into this. As far as camping stuff goes, you're pretty much just less limited. Backpacking, we're trying to stay light. Camping, you don't really care. You park in your car, you can put as much weight as you really want. So, important things for camping. I would bring a spare change of clothes. I think it's pretty important to have, especially if it rains or if it's just miserable and there's dew. Then you can layer up. But it's good to have a spare change of clothes, so I would bring those. Now, it's pretty much the same, so you'll need a tent. Now, I would recommend a larger tent, one that you are going to be more comfortable in. A mattress is recommended, but it's not required. Typically, what you're going to get when you're camping is a pretty flat spot with some gravel. And honestly, most sleeping bags are fine on that. But a mattress is nice, and I would recommend it. And, of course, as I mentioned, you'll need a sleeping bag. Make sure to get the right rating for how warm it is out. Do not use a summer sleeping bag in a winter setting. That is going to end badly, and you're going to be freezing. Okay, now, as far as cooking goes, typically you'll bring a larger stove. It'll be heavy, usually, and you'll be hooked up to a medium-sized propane tank. Those little green ones you can get at the store. They're great. Typically it's a 2-burner stove, and then you'll bring a pretty large pot set for the most part. And it's, pretty expansive. Bring whatever you can. Honestly, the more the better. Sporks are an absolute yes, and 90% of these pots and pan things, the handles come right off, and you can switch them from pan to pan. So that's always nice to have. It's nice to have a mug. It's nice to have kind of those luxuries that you cannot take if you're going backpacking. So pretty much just a heavier setup. And then that's that. As far as electronics go, you're camping. So you're going to be close to your car. I would recommend bringing a USB battery still so that you can charge your phone. A triple zip lock is entirely optional, strictly because the car is right next to you, so you can just throw your phone in there. However, if you want to doom scroll in the middle of the night, by all means, bring a triple Ziploc bag and go for it. Or if it's not going to rain, don't bother. That's on you. Okay, that's cool. You'll also want a headlamp. And typically you'll bring a nice lantern so you can tell spooky stories around the campfire. Alright, now, kind of the last items. You're camping. It's kind of iconic to have a campfire. You'll have a fun little cast iron or just a steel barbecue that they already have. It's nice to bring your own so that you can cook whatever you want. Steak.
Look, I made a steak.
Whatever. They can be really lightweight. They can be really heavy. Blah, blah. That's awesome to have. It's also really nice to be able to start a fire. So, bring a hatchet. If you bring a full-size axe, kudos to you, man. But, nobody's going to congratulate you or anything like that. Hatchet just fine. Don't bring a lightweight one if you're camping. Just don't. It's not worth it. It takes forever. Just bring an actual hatchet. Those pole saws that you can get, that you pull both sides, those are useless. Don't grab those. You're camping again. You can usually buy firewood, maybe 5 minutes away from your campsite. If not, pretty much the neighbor of your campsite, they'll have them. Now, you'll want fire starters. You'll probably want a lighter, and you'll probably want matches. That's kind of what I would bring camping, and I think that's a pretty good setup. But yeah, honestly, it's just backpacking, but heavier. Nevertheless, let's get into a haul of what we're doing. Fantastic. All right, so as far as hardware goes, you get a sleeping bag. This is my backpacking one. I recommend a heavier one. This one is a summer one. You'll want a tent. This is a 3-person tent, if I remember right. It's not crazy heavy, but it's definitely not light. And it's yellow, as you can see. Me bamba! Y'all want a mattress. You're not limited by size. So, the bigger the better. More comfy. Again, those are optional. Food! Mug, entirely optional. However, my favorite thing. Propane canister, required, unless you're going to use a which I do not recommend for everything. You want a stove. That can range from this, or a barbecue, or it can range up to this behemoth, which is actually amazing. You're trying to cook breakfast quick, and You're not limited on any factors. So that's that. Now, it's kind of hard to cook anything unless you have a cooking set. So make sure to bring one. This is a lightweight cook set. Do not bring a lightweight cook set camping. Bring a larger one because it is easier. However, if you're limited on budget, these are cheap. Alrighty. Into electronics. You want a light. Cool. Having a red scheme is very nice, and having a strobe is very nice. You'll probably want a charger. This is mine. Triple Ziploc bag. Optional. Axe. This can range from this, which is amazing if you're camping. I would definitely recommend one of these. This is heavy too. The heavier, the easier it is to chop. That's what I recommend. Or it could be like this. This is a backpacking axe. This will take forever to cut something. You'll probably want a knife. These are great. You know, knife. It's pretty self-explanatory. As far as fire starters go, fire starters, matches work great. I recommend waterproof. Or magnesium rods. Or, if you're bougie, a lighter. Alright. That's kind of the hardware stuff. Let's get into the food items. Great, I'm hungry. I don't know. Bring food. Okay, so here's you goes. Backpacking. Freeze-dried food. Or, what do you call it? Where the moisture's taken out. Whatever that's called, bring that. Mountain House meals are a great option. They are very light. You just add water. Water is usually accessible where you are. That's amazing. Freeze-dried ice cream, bring that. That stuff's great. Okay, that's backpacking stuff. Wow, that was really easy. Would you look at that? Now, let's say you're camping or you're backpacking and you feel ambitious. Now, you may want to bring, let's see, corned beef hash. That's a random one. Definitely not my favorite. Great. Bring the can. You're backpacking. Cool. Put it in your bear canister or your bear bag, and I don't know. Have fun trekking with it. It's a pound. If you're camping, you do not care. So just bring whatever canned foods you want. Canned foods are great. Beans, corned beef hash, green beans, corn, olives. It's all there. Meat sauce, all there. Now, some of the stuff while you're camping that's amazing. Pasta, super simple. Meat sauce is super simple. Like, very, very easy. Making burgers.
Did he just say that his last name?
Just make sure you have a good
burger?
water source to clean your hands. Yeah, that's some good options there. Steaks are great. Just remember, you need to keep those refrigerated. So, cooler works great. If you're camping, bring one. If you're backpacking, eat that first day. Otherwise, it is gone, and it will no longer be good. Don't do that. Now, that's kind of food for you. It's pretty simple, I'm going to be honest. Just don't bring anything that needs to stay in the fridge. Oh, cheese and summer sauce are great snacks, by the way. You're camping, you're backpacking, and suddenly it hits you. You're really thirsty. Cannot stress this enough. Bring water, and bring a lot of it. If you are backpacking, you are supposed to be consuming half a liter of water every hour. Keep that in mind. That's 500 milliliters. It's a lot. This mug, at best, maybe it's 200 milliliters. So you're drinking 2 of these every hour. Which doesn't seem like a lot, but just keep going. Adding electrolytes to that is great. Or if you got Gatorade, that works great too. If you're backpacking, you've got slots for it. Outside and outside. You should bring at least 2. And those should be minimum 500 milliliter capacity. Ideally, you have a liter of water on you. So that's kind of your ideal setup. If you are camping, you probably have access to a faucet somewhere within half a mile of where you're camping. Just constantly fill up and drink water. Stay hydrated, help you feel good, and it'll help you kind of keep going throughout the day. So, that's water. I don't know what really else to tell you. Just drink water.